Good morning. It's time for another video of the observations of an American living in Germany. This should be number 21 of the ones I put out. It's been a while, but my son and his girlfriend were over here visiting from the United States. They were here for 2 weeks, so we tried to cram in as many things as we could while they were here. I took them up the one side of the Rhine River up to Koblenz, and we came down the other side so they could see some scenery and some castles up on the hill and stuff, experience some of the small towns. And we took them to Speyer down in about an hour and a half from here. We also went to there's a technical museum there. That was very interesting. Took them to the Heidelberg Castle. That was quite something, quite a sight to behold, built in the Middle Ages. It's amazing so much of it is still standing today. And then I took them on a road trip. We went down to Dachau, to the former concentration camp, which is now set up as a museum/memorial site. He's 24, almost 25, and she's 21. So I thought it was something their generation should see. Then we went down through Munich, went down to Garmisch, stayed a night there. That place is down in the middle of the Alps. Just truly a beautiful place. A lot cooler down there than it was up here too. Then we went to see Berchtesgaden. Went up to see the Eagle's Nest, also called the Kelstein House. It was one of the places where the Nazi Party and Hitler used to have for kind of a getaway, showing off the foreign dignitaries and things like that. Unfortunately, the view wasn't that good because there was like 2 feet of snow up there and a lot of cloud cover. So you really couldn't see anything. But normally the view is spectacular. I was there as a child and I remember it was a clear day and you could see so much from up there. But something I thought they should see. And then we went to the salt mines, took a tour there. Stayed a night in Salzburg, Austria, which I was amazed at how clean a city that is. I thought German cities were clean, but Salzburg takes the cake. They barely had any graffiti either. A lot of German cities are ending up with too much graffiti, but they didn't have much of it in Salzburg. And then we went to Nuremberg, stayed a night up there. Quite an amazing city. And then we came back up here to Wiesbaden. We did a lot of driving, and it was so nice on the autobahn. They had areas where there was construction, but a lot of it was wide open, and I was traveling 130 to 140 kilometers much of the way, which is fast enough for our car. But it was amazing. I had people flying by me like I was sitting still. And I'm amazed at the skill level of the German drivers compared to Americans. It's like night and day. Nobody hogs the passing lane. As soon as people get a clear chance, they move over, and people don't zigzag and go around you on the right. So, although there's really no reason to, because nobody hogs the left lane, but it's just so much more, traffic just flows better. And, you get a traffic jam here and there, and it was a holiday weekend for the Germans, but nonetheless, we liked it. When you stay in a hotel here, one thing that they don't have ice machines like they do in the States. So if you want to make drinks in your room, you have to go down and try and con the bartender into getting some ice for you. And the refrigerators in German hotels are very small. They're like ones you have in your college dormitory. And if you're only staying one night, it's not that big of a deal. But, you get a couple cans of beer and a bottle of wine, and that's going to take up all the room. There were no air conditioning in the hotels. They said that they didn't have it turned on yet, but it was really, really quite warm, especially in Salzburg. And we opened the windows and we got a little bit of airflow, but a ceiling fan would have been nice. But the staff was very nice. The accommodations were good. The Wi-Fi at the hotel in Nuremberg was fantastic. The Wi-Fi at the hotel in Salzburg was very dicey. It would kept buffering when you were trying to stream stuff. Parking Most hotels in the United States have free parking. Not so for the ones in Germany. If you go to one in a city, you'll have to pay to park at one of the decks. The food, oh, the food is outstanding. I had the steak that I had in Salzburg was phenomenal. We had Italian food in Nuremberg. In Garmisch, I had pork schnitzel with, it was actually coated in cornflakes. Yeah, I know. I saw it on the menu and I thought, oh, this would be weird, but I ordered it. It was so good. And when the Germans make fries, sometimes they even bring it out in a little the basket that they used to fry them in, or else they'll put them in what looks like a bowl or a mug, and it keeps them hot. Instead of in the United States where they just spread the French fries all out and then they get cold really quickly. Germans do potatoes, roasted potatoes, and fries like nobody's business. I did eat once at a McDonald's, and the fries were just as good as they are in the States, but the chicken nuggets didn't quite have the same flavor. And I'm guessing it's because the German purity laws are a lot stricter than they are in America. The Germans probably don't put up with all the emulsifiers and preservatives and all the bad stuff that they have in the States. I noticed that Coca Cola in Germany is flavored with sugar instead of high fructose corn syrup. So it's probably a little better for you and tastes a little better. I generally drink Coke Zero, but if I do get a Coke with sugar in it, it's definitely better than the stuff in the States with the high fructose corn syrup. We did a lot of driving, so we went to gasoline stations several times. And in Germany, when you go to a gas station, we have to use ESSO because we use the AFIS card, so we get a discount on the taxes. So instead of paying 6.85, $7 a gallon, I think we pay like 4.20 a gallon or something like that. But we have to use it as a ESSO station, at an ESSO station, which in the States is known as Exxon. They're owned by ExxonMobil. But nevertheless, you pull up, you pump your fuel, then you have to go inside and pay to the cashier. I've not seen anything here that has a option where you can pay at the pump. Maybe they have them, but I've never seen one. Nevertheless, the gasoline in Germany is also higher quality. You have what's called Super 95, which is their cheapest gasoline. You can find it in blends that have no ethanol, blends that have E5, 5% ethanol, or what they call Super E10, which has 10% ethanol. That's like what they sell in the United States, most every market. 10% is mandated. But in Europe, I found 0.5 and E10. The E5 is a couple cents more per liter than the E10 because the ethanol has a lower energy content, fewer BTUs. So you'll get a little bit better gas mileage with E0 or E5 than you will with E10. So they maybe cut you a break on the price. I've tried E5 and E10. Doesn't seem to make much of a difference in my car, but I get the lowest ethanol percentage I can because I'd rather have straight gasoline. Ethanol belongs in your liquor cabinet. But nonetheless, the Super 95 on the German octane rating system is the same as 90 or maybe 91 in the United States. So the cheapest gasoline here is essentially what is mid-grade in the United States. They also have what's called Super Plus 98. That's the premium, which is equivalent to 93 or 94 octane in the United States. They don't sell the 87 octane swill over here. I believe it's because German cars are designed to go on the autobahn. A lot of German cars have smaller four-cylinder engines with turbochargers, so they need the extra. They have higher compression ratios. Their ignition timing is set a little bit farther ahead for getting up to high speed on the autobahn and maintaining it. So my guess is that the German government wanted fuel to be of higher quality. They also sell two different grades of diesel fuel here. Now, I don't have a diesel-powered car, but there are a lot of them over here. They apparently have regular diesel and then B7, which is 7% biodiesel. I'm retired from trucking, and we only had one type of diesel fuel that we used. You had on-road and off-road diesel, and we had to use the on-road kind. But in Germany, they apparently sell two different kind of diesels that work in passenger cars. The rest areas here are very, very nice. They're just like some of the ones in the United States. They have a little store in there, and they have bathrooms. You have to pay €1 to use the toilet. They have a turnstile in there. You drop your euro, but it'll give you a receipt, and it's a voucher for $1 off a purchase. So, buy yourself a soft pretzel or a soda or a candy bar or something like that. So I suppose it just helps to keep things clean. They have a separate parking area for trucks, a separate parking area for cars. It's pretty nice. It did feel good to be home, but there's so much. Germany's such a beautiful country. There's so many things to see. So far since I've been here, I've been to France, Austria, and Luxembourg, and Malta. And this upcoming weekend, my wife and I are going to be in Belgium, which is about roughly a 4-hour drive from here. So that'll be another one to scratch off the list. There's a lot to see and do here. It's just, I'm trying to, I know I'm all over the place with this video. I don't mean to bore you to death. I'm just throwing out some observations and some of the differences and what to expect over here. Oh, and with money, euros is the currency in Austria and Germany and most of the European Union. So you can use an ATM and use your debit card, and depending on the bank, it'll give you a really good rate of exchange or a really crappy one. I use my USAA debit card most of the time. And we also have an N26 bank, which is what I highly recommend if you're going to be an American living over here. It does everything in euros, and we use that to pay our rent and our utilities. But yeah, it's we're getting ready to head into the summer season. It does get hot over here, but it makes it feel hotter sometimes because the days are so long. The sun doesn't set so late in the day, but we do have Roladins in the house, and that's nice. You push a button and they go up or down. It's like a shade, like a roll top shade on the outside of the window frame, so you can make it block out the sunlight, and you can open it a little bit if you just want some air to circulate, or you can make it dark as night in your room if you want to sleep in when the sun comes up early. We did buy 2 portable air conditioners, one for the living room area and one for the bedroom. You don't need air conditioning that much over here, but when it's really hot, it is really hot. Fortunately, in Germany, it doesn't stay hot at night. It cools off. It's not like the South in the United States where you have to run your air conditioning at 3 in the morning. It's not quite as humid here, and it does cool down at night. But anyway, that's all I got for today. I am sorry if I rambled on a little bit, just giving you, one man's opinion. But if you ever get a chance to visit Germany, I would highly recommend it. It's an amazing country. Germany's sort of like the Texas of Europe. They've got a little bit of everything, and it's the biggest country in continental Europe. Of course, Russia has a bigger population and covers more territory, but a lot of Russia is in Asia. And Russia's not really part of the EU. And right now, if you're an American, Russia's probably not the place you want to go anyway. But anyway, that's it for now. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao.